So if you're new here, you might not know how unhinged I am about Wicked, but let me just tell you, it's very fucking unhinged. I did a 40-minute deep dive video essay last year for Wicked, and this year I thought maybe I would take you on a rather different kind of journey. Now, last year, as a huge fan of Wicked, not only the musical, but the book, which I wrote my dissertation on and even gave a paper remotely at the University of Pennsylvania this year because I'm an Oz scholar, apparently. Do you remember last year when I tried to make Ozcore a thing? Like, I tried to make a new aesthetic called Ozcore to get everybody to dress up as Wicked for the year because I was that excited. Anyway, while that was all going on, lots of people that I admire on the internet who are very similar jobs to me all got to go to the Wicked premiere in London. And it looked really cool. And I'm so happy for all of them. But as somebody who wrote their undergrad dissertation on the book of Wicked, I couldn't help but think, do I have a chance in hell of getting to go? So today I thought I'd do something super unhinged and I would start a public campaign to see if I could get it there. The day is the 17th of October. This film comes out on the 22nd of November, which I think would mean placing the premiere probably about 4 weeks from now. So we have got 4 weeks to persuade the internet that I deserve to go to that premiere. Phase 1 is filming a short, publicly applying to go to the premiere and addressing whoever is in charge of that invite list directly. Phase 2 is manifesting an invite by making my own dress for the premiere that I don't yet have an invite to, out of some thrifted fabric from Vinted that has pictures of Elphaba all over. Now, I'm not, or no longer, religious. I don't really believe in manifesting either, but if I can show the universe, or at least the people who are in charge of the invite lists, that I'm serious, that I'm willing to sink some time and love into an outfit, maybe I'll get to go to the Emerald City and meet the wizard. I think phase 3 will also involve maybe messaging all the people that I vaguely know or potentially cold DMing, sliding into the DMs of people I've never met who I know got an invite to the premiere last year and just straight up asking them for some help. That's very potentially needy and cringy of me, but I think I'm willing to be that. You know, I'm 35 now. I'm allowed to be cringe. In fact, it's my duty. So let's edit this short and see how phase 1 goes. This message is for the person who is in charge of the Wicked for Good UK premiere invites. If you're not that person, keep scrolling. Hi, my name's Lena and this is my application to plea. Please come to the premiere. Wicked was one of the first musicals I ever saw on the West End and it made me want to work in the entertainment industry. Before I even saw the show on stage, I knew the score by heart. I found an abandoned copy of Wicked by Gregory Maguire in a hostel in Santa Cruz, and if I hadn't been obsessed before, I sure was obsessed now. I wrote my undergrad English dissertation on Wicked the book, and toss. Got a first. As I surged into adulthood, the only socks I would wear to a job interview, which by the way, never not been hired from a job interview, were my Wicked souvenir socks. And to this day, I believe those lucky socks are responsible for my great career. I spent 9 years working in the UK publishing industry with the hopes that I might one day get to meet Gregory Maguire. It never happened, but it's okay. Throughout all my single years, my Valentine tradition was to sit in the nosebleeds of Wicked on the West End and see the musical on my own. Some of the best Valentine's days I've ever had. And to this day, I continue to study and have a very normal attachment to the world of Oz. In fact, I just gave a paper at the University of Pennsylvania's Symposium on Wicked. Last year, I released a 40-minute video essay deep dive into the world of Wicked. And I even tried to coin a fashion aesthetic Ozcore to go along with my excitement. Every day I delve into my Wicked themed toiletry bag and think, if only I was popular enough to go to the premiere, like all of the other content creators who got to go last year. And to show the universe how serious I am going to be conducting a manifesting exercise in sewing by preemptively sewing my own dress for the premiere that I'm definitely coming to. Right? Follow along with me to see how the dress comes along and if I get to wear it to the premiere or just to my local cinema sitting on my own eating pity popcorn. Okay, the short is edited and I think I'm going to upload it tomorrow, but in the meantime I thought I would get started on my pattern for this dress. So I think I am going to use the poppy sewing pattern from Cinnamon Daisy, which looks like this. Apart from before, it looks like this. It looks like this. Just lots of A4 pages I have to stick together to make the pattern. Sounds like a either cozy or infuriating way to spend my evening. Let's find out. Okay, so it's been 4 days since I posted that reel, and while I haven't got an invite to the premiere yet, lots of really lovely people commented on it. Jack Edwards commented on it, Melanie Murphy commented on it, Imogen Grant, the Olympic champion, commented on it. We currently have 43,000 views, and that has been lovely. I also got a couple of DMs from people who say that they know people in Universal who are in PR and they've sent it to them. And there was also one very kind person who found who they think is the person who's in charge of the Wicked invites on LinkedIn and sent me a link to their profile. Now, is this a little bit much to message somebody on LinkedIn and be like, hello, I'm a complete stranger, but can I have a favour? It's not even a favour. It's like, could I be considered for this thing that I know you send influencers to? But anyway, needless to say, no invite, but we proceed. Now, what has felt like for the past 4 evenings, I have been working on what's going on behind me. And I need you to know that maybe to your eyes, it doesn't look like that much. But I need you to know that about 8 hours of time has already gone in to what is behind me. I did a sample of the bodice bit to see if it would fit. That took a while and a little bit of unpicking and repicking, but we got it right. It fits. I don't need to do any bust adjustments. Thank goodness. I think that the pattern does a really good job of helping you size yourself cup-wise, and I'm just really relieved that I did a tester and it worked. So that took some of the time. Then, because I'm combining 2 fabrics and I'm doing a lining, there was a huge push and pull between me trying to work out how to make full pattern pieces with 2 different patterns on either side. And basically the vision is one side of the dress is Elphaba and the other side of the dress is tartan. I'm kind of seeing a Selkie dress mixed with this Taylor Swift tartan dress. That's the vision, okay? But in 2 dresses, you see what I mean? I don't know. I believe. But making sure that all the witches will land on the right side of the dress and all of the tartan on the other side of the dress, because I don't want a patchwork effect. I want it to be half and half, was a real mindfuck. And I ended up unpicking stuff several times and making different versions of these things. I was also quite limited because I have 2 very narrow meters of this fabric and a more generous amount of this fabric. So I did have to do a lot of patchworking and zhuzhing to make sure I had enough fabric. And there were a few choice words said when I cut out stuff wrong, because there was really no margin for error. Look how closely this cutting, that's how close we were cutting it here, people. But we have made all of the pieces. Or have you know, there are 17 pieces in total, but actually including the patchwork, there are 24 pieces because I had to patchwork some of them together. And it genuinely doesn't look like much, but I think that is maybe a lesson in how garment work is real work, and there is no such thing as a robot operated sewing machine. This is all done by hand. Whatever kind of t-shirt or dress or casual item or ball gown you're buying, somebody had to literally make it with their own hands. So maybe this is a testament to that, and I need you to be supportive because I'm aware that the dress hasn't actually started being assembled yet. Okay, here we go. So at the bottom, we've got the skirt, different panels. These are going to be the side boob panels. This one's going to be, don't look at my socks, by the way. I don't have time to do more darning on my socks because I'm doing this, or have you know, so I will not stand for judgment. Oh, another thing that kept happening was the witches kept coming upside down. So that was like another thing that was happening. Anyway, these are the waist panels. These two things are going to be the sleeves. Then we've got another bit of skirt panel. And then these are all the boob panels that are going to keep my boobs decent and hopefully shaped and look like a nice ball gown. So as you can see, I kind of have my hands full, so I'll leave you there. I am going to try and assemble these pieces. How long might this take me? A very long time, but it is something to do while I wait for that invite that's totally coming in my inbox. It totally is. It's going to be fine. This is not work for nothing. It's going to be fine, right? Right? Okay, we need to have a little debrief. You're currently sitting on my ironing board, just situating you in the situation. And I have stopped for a little tea and Rice Krispie cake break. So do you want the good news or the bad news? The bad news is the first round of premiere invites have definitely gone out. And there's definitely not one in my inbox. I put on the little speech bubble things that you can put on Instagram that only show to people that you mutually follow. Has anybody received an invite to the Wicked premiere? And one person was like, no, but I'm trying to get one and I haven't been successful so far. But here is the agency that did it last year. Like, here's who you might want to email. Here's who I've been trying to email. And this person has like 3 times the amount of followers that I do. And then one from somebody I know that does have a premiere invite and is plurific. I've lost that word. A shining light in the creative industries, but has 4,000 followers. I don't think this is about follower count, and I'm not sure what it's about. Is it about clout? Is it about desperation? Because maybe surely I rank highly at that at least. But I've been listening to the Wicked soundtrack as I have been sewing and thinking about this and being like, I think I might be wearing this dress to the cinema, and that's okay. And, you know, dancing through lifelines like, those who don't try never look foolish, and thinking, yeah, that's true. Maybe I do look foolish. And then I'm Not That Girl comes on. And I'm like, I need to get a grip. This is not that sad. However, onwards and upwards. Do you want to see how we're getting on with the dress? The thing that I'm most excited about and is most finished at the moment is the skirt. This is by Spaghetti Western Patterns, and I think it's called the Henrietta skirt. And it's got these amazing gathers just in the hips. And I think it's going to look sick. So I'm really excited about that. I spent some time on the sofa gathering. I think something that people don't realise who might not be a sewer is that sewing isn't actually, like, you don't actually get to do that much sewing. A lot of sewing is actually ironing. I've done a lot of ironing today. And gathering. But thankfully gathering can totally be done whilst also watching Broadchurch with a tea. So I did that to gather the skirts. And then we've got the bodice done here. And then the bodice lining. I do also have some more bad news for you. I am still missing 3 pieces for this dress, so I need to cut out 3 more pattern pieces to complete the lining of the bodice. But that's fine. That just, you know what? We do actually have enough fabric to complete that, so that's not actually the panic that I thought it was. And then I've also been ironing and hemming the sleeves. So this is going to be one of the poofy sleeves. And I'm wondering whether to leave, this is supposed to be in the pattern gathered with an elastic, but I'm wondering if actually it would look more premiere-ish, more decadent if I didn't gather it and it was more of a flutter sleeve like that. I promise I'm not being lazy. I actually do think it would look better. But I guess I could gather it afterwards if it didn't look as cool as I think it might. So that's where we're at. Shall we continue? Please excuse the indecent exposure. And it is like 10 o'clock at night as well. But I am about to try on the bodice part of this dress. And I swear to God, if this doesn't fit, I might have a full-on breakdown. I also went a little bit rogue. There's all these elastics right in the back to make it fit. In the instructions, it tells you to sew this whole thing in and then put your hand inside the lining and like thread each individual elastic through while it's in the dress. And I just had like the most rebellious. I think I've gone from being beginner to confident beginner. And I haven't gone from confident beginner to the next obvious station, which would be intermediate. I've gone to audacious beginner. Where I'm like, hell no, I won't be doing that. So I actually made this panel separately and then have sewn it in and nothing bad happened. I would recommend doing that if you want to make this dress. Don't put yourself through it. It's not worth it. However, that does mean that I have technically gone off course and I am really hoping that the bad thing isn't about to happen and the top isn't going to fit. So I thought I would film my victory/breakdown. One of two things is about to happen. Let's go. Okay. It doesn't fit, but in the best way, it's a little bit big. And that is something that we can easily fix. I can just unpick the back and make it a little bit tight. If it was too small, I would be having a kitchen floor reset right now, but that's actually fine. And it looks kind of cool, right? Like in the pattern, these sleeves are supposed to be gathered in a little puff. And I thought I could just leave them like this. But do we think that's sensible? I'm not sure. We can make that decision later. I don't want to try to make the decision now. A decision we can't make later that simply has to be made now is how we attach this bastard skirt. Because, right, the whole vision, the whole way along this whole process, I have been thinking, oh, just left my pudding bowl on the floor. I needed snacks, okay? I needed snacks. Literally from the off, from my fantasies and imaginings, before I'd even cut out the pattern, I thought that I was gonna have a dress like this, where it's like one side and the other side. But then today, I was sitting there and I was thinking, but what if that was happening? I think it would look more casual. It would probably make it more wearable. Like maybe I'd be more likely to wear it. Wait, let me just tuck it into my knickers. This way, it would probably make it more wearable, casual, and it would give more of a patchwork kind of effect, right? But I think this way is much more unexpected and a little bit more high fashion. And I still think I would wear it like casually. It would just feel more formal. And I can't explain to you why, because I don't have a fashion degree. I've got an English degree. However, I asked the internet and you all think that it should be this way around. So do I obey the masses or am I going to be a fickle little bit? I'm going to be a fickle little bitch, I think. And also I can unpick it if it goes wrong. It's not like the biggest decision ever. I'm going to be fickle and like do what everybody doesn't want me to do and do it. Yeah. Let's just stick to the plan. Don't mess with the artistic vision. You are not obedient to the people. This is not a democracy. I'm doing it. Okay, right. We've got to attach the skirt. The reason that I'm speaking to you from down here will soon become obvious. But I have two really big things to tell you. Like, two really big things have happened since we last spoke. The first thing is, I checked my message requests on Instagram. And I recommend that everybody do the same because you will miss things in that weird little box. I get a DM from somebody at like 10 o'clock at night. A stranger, not an official brand account, nothing like that. Just a person. Hi Lena, I'm hoping you'll see this. I'm working on Wicked for good. ... I hope that's not a Mamma Mia ... Can you drop me an email? And then they give me their email. And I was like, I don't know if this person is for real, but the end of the email is one of the official avenues through which an invite would come. So I nearly threw up, but I was trying to hold it in because I needed to not throw up on my phone because I needed to email them like immediately. And I emailed them. And then at like 11 o'clock last night, it's real. The woman was basically like, your videos have reached us. Would you like to come to the Wicked premiere? And I was like, this is not good for my sleep schedule because sending me this kind of email at 11 o'clock at night means that I'm going to be thrown off. Like, spiritually, I am completely dead in the water. Anyway, obviously I replied saying yes, and I am going to be going next week. Next week. It's next week. She said they're completely jammed up. I was like, can I get a +1? And she was like, no, like we're completely full. So I must have just like got in there, wedged myself in to my destiny, as we all must. And I'm going to be going. And the next most exciting thing is, and now we can pan down and I can stop speaking to you from the bottom of the screen. I finished the freaking dress. Oh my God. Do you want to see? This is just a sneak peek because I feel like I should probably show you properly when I actually go to the premiere, but it would just be such a dick tease to not show you just a little bit of it. 2 details I wanted to show you. One is a fail in that there is a gather here that goes like that. And on this side, it's a little bit higher. This is where this gather ends. And this, actually, it's really not that different. And because of the patterns, it's really like not noticeable, so it's fine, but good to note for future. And that became clear to me that that was going to be an issue because when I lay it on the floor this morning, because obviously I didn't sleep very well last night because I was genuinely excited. This is so sad. And I just got up really early and I was like, I'm going to finish the dress. I'm inspired. So here's some footage of me making the dress in my little hairnet. It became clear to me that something had gone awry because this is what it looked like when I laid it flat to do the hem on the bottom of the dress. But that's fine. I just cut the bottom off and it was all good. This is why I can't make dresses professionally for other people, but I'm like completely fine with the flaws that it has. Anyway, and then another thing I added in was I added these hooks. I have one of these bras that could be strapless but isn't, so you can hook the straps off. So I just made this little tab on the inside of the dress so that I can thread my bra straps through it and then the shoulders don't fall down. This is still falling down though. Maybe I should get some boob tape. I went against, as I said I would, the Instagram voting system, and I'm really happy with it. I think it looks weirder, and I think that the vibe of Wicked, especially like the ensemble on stage, is just very weird. So the half and half thing I think works better for purpose, even though I know like aesthetically maybe you'd prefer it to be more symmetrical. I don't think I'm going to gather these sleeves. I can gather them at another point in time. Like that's what I like about sewing as well. You can just like keep your garments evolving and changing and adding or taking things away. So I could put an elastic in the end of these eventually, but I think for premiere prowess, I do think I need a little bit of a swish. So essentially I've got nothing else to do on this. This is done. So for now there's not much more to say apart from we're off to see the frickin' wizard. And so it was that the witch and her dress got to go to the ball. Please enjoy this footage of me walking down an incredibly chaotic yellow brick road carpet. The premiere was very magical. It was very fast, like we didn't have much time outside the cinema. We were being like kind of rushed into the cinema, but it was such an amazing atmosphere and we got to take pictures. There were the costumes from Wicked were there, which were really cool. Thankfully, my friend Hannah was also invited, so she was there to get lots of footage of me twirling in the dress. And once you're in there, you kind of just sit and watch everybody else walk down the red carpet. We were actually on the Wicked live stream. If you take a little look, we were there. But yeah, I had an incredible night. I'm so grateful to Universal for hearing my very embarrassing plea and letting me go. As far as the dress is concerned, I was so happy with the way it turned out. I genuinely felt very special in it. And a lot of the ushers and people that worked in the cinema gave me compliments and I got to go, thanks, I made it. I'm sure I will find lots of other opportunities to wear it because I'm me and I insist on that. And I also really like the way I styled it. For those of you who watched my video on what I wore for my elopement, I did a lot of secondhand fashion for my elopement. And one of them were these shoes that I got to rewear for Wicked. Oh, they were perfect. It's kind of weird. Like they don't give wedding, but they definitely give Wicked. So I'm really glad they got another outing. As far as the film goes, I'm absolutely made up as a Wicked fan. I think they did it a great service, and I think that it was just clearly made by people who are a fan of not only the musical but the book. I just think they've absolutely smashed it. I think my only criticism would be I didn't love Elphaba's new song, but I did think that Glinda's new song was very good. And as it was written by the same person who wrote the score for the stage play, it's not surprising that it works so well with the original score. So I hope you had fun watching me make the dress, especially it was all secondhand fabric as well, which was really nice. Makes me feel all like Elphaba would be proud of me. I'll leave the links to the patterns that I used for this dress below. And if you're thinking about becoming a beginner sewist, some videos I've made on like what I wish I'd known. Are you going to see Wicked? If you've already seen it, what do you think? Let's have a group chat in the comments. I can't wait to chat about it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you are, because next week I am going to be doing another Wicked fashion related video. Stay tuned for that. As always, if you're in the Gumption Club, my patron, you get to see that video early, and you'll be added to a secret Discord and get weekly podcast episodes from me that are only exclusively available in the Gumption Club on Patreon. So thank you so much to them for making this video possible, and also of course to Universal for giving this video a very happy ending, and it was really close to not being happy. So thank you for sending me and my dress down the carpet of our dreams. Frog Snog out.